SRS, help, SRS. Hey there, guys. Joe Simons, like diamonds, salt drunk here. You're wondering, Joe, have you lost your mind? It's SOS. No, it's not. It's SRS, and I truly do need your help, and it's going to take less than 60 seconds. Here's the deal. We've been approached multiple times by these advertisers who want to advertise on our podcast. We've said no to all of them because here's what they want to do. They told us on a 30 to 40-minute show, they want to put 9 advertisements. That means like every few minutes it is going to abruptly stop, and you're going to have to sit through a dumb advertisement. We do not want you to put you through that. It's a bad user experience. We are here to impact as many people as possible. So instead of us taking advertising money, all we ask in return is you do this one thing. It's going to take 60 seconds. It's the SRS. It's subscribe. That takes literally 1 second. If you're on iTunes, pause it right now. You can hit subscribe. If on Stitcher, same thing. So subscribe is number 1. R is review. Just take a few seconds and review this podcast. That's the number 1 way that Apple shares and recommends this to as many people as possible. It helps us make a massive impact and make sure that we never have to put ads on here. And the other one is to share it with anyone you think might love this message. So SRS, subscribe, review, and share. It would mean the world to us, and it helps get this message out there and this podcast out to as many people as possible and keeps it completely ad-free. So here is the message in the podcast for today. Hope you enjoy it. And if you can, please, 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 SRS, help, subscribe, review, and share. Thank you guys. Love you. Talk to you soon.
Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way.
And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing.
Here's your host, Joe Simons, like diamonds.
Fish? Oh, what we got there, Lukey?
It looks like a snook.
Snook. We'll see if there's another one with it.
It's fighting like a trout there first.
Doing top water here before the sun's up.
Yep.
God, that is such a good sound. It's not much wind out here, and you just hear that pop.
That is a good way to start the morning off right there.
No doubt, dude.
Top water snook. It's a respectable one.
And we're here on a little beach in Tampa, St. Pete area.
Get around here real quick.
And Moonwalker.
Moonwalker's getting the job done. This guy just slurped it down too.
And a little Dr. Juice on there too. We got birds all over the place here.
All right, let's go, buddy.
All right, don't make so much commotion I can't catch a fish.
This guy's
What do we got? Oh, it's a nice one, dude.
around. Solid snook there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he just sucked down that Moonwalker right there, and both hooks are probably in him. That's a solid fish there. Get this guy unhooked.
Hey, do you mind shooting us off to the right real quick? You got the remote.
All right. I can't see it. Yeah, turn. All right.
There we go. And I'm going to keep on fishing. Yeah, so Luke was out here, the other day, and just happened to be, wasn't even fishing, just kind of scouting the tower and saw a bunch of snook. And we're in, 2 feet of water here. There's a little bit of a beach, pretty decent grass. Saw some snook roaming, and that was one of the first casts of the morning.
All right.
Gotta love that. Job, dude. Good job. So worst case, next. Oh, there's some bait right there too. Ooh. We'd actually hit the real beach, but hopefully we don't even have to.
Yeah, and so with snook, and this is the Moonwalker that we're using, and there's a lot of snook here, so I have a 30-pound little bite tippet. So it's 20-pound mono and then down to 30 right before the top water. That way when you hook into these snook, they're not going to steal our lures. And the fact that it's this, it's pretty much still dark. It's not dark, but it's, still not light out. So it's not going to decrease the amount of strikes. So you hear from a lot of people that use 20-pound on top water and hook into a big snook, and that is, the odds of landing a big snook on 20 is really small.
Ooh, watch out, birds.
Especially if it's fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbon just gets worn through much quicker with snook compared to regular mono. So I now just use regular mono for everything. And my amount of snook that I lose has significantly gone down compared to when I was using fluoro.
Were you doing that same fast cadence?
Yeah.
You were?
Yeah. Yeah, right now is prime time, so we've got to just cover ground.
And you're moving that sucker. All right.
Yeah, so just doing a pretty fast walk the dog. We've got this is gonna be the best bite of the day, right until we start getting a shadow from the sun. So just trying to cover as much ground as possible. Yeah, and so yesterday I just went out and I just got up in the tower and I was just kind of just idling around looking, because you have to be out about this far from shore and can easily see all the way up to the shore. And the sun was out obviously at that time, and saw a good amount of snook a little bit further up here.
This area looks awesome. There's bait all down here below.
Yeah.
We got birds. If you look over here, Joel, right to our left. Bird cruising the beach. A little bit of grass, meaning floating grass, which I don't love.
That's where the single inline hooks come into play as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a pretty good amount of floating grass, and they're all like the single strand floating grass, which is good. And with trebles, it has a much higher odds of snagging on that grass. It can be very frustrating. With singles, it'll usually just plow right through it.
And this little pothole here, huh? This area looks awesome.
Yeah, we should be able to pick off another snook or two. It was off these rocks is where I was seeing most of them yesterday.
More birds up there.
Just when I talk about the inline hooks not catching grass, nothing will get through this amount of grass without getting snagged.
No, you imagine if you had trebles. I was like, what is that? Sprinkler system. So we did something crazy this week. We were just telling Joel we closed on the property for the new Salt Strong headquarters. This is not the same as the theme park, but certainly gets us one step closer. But it is on the water, so we're going to be able to do demonstrations, test out stuff, probably start offering kayaks and paddle boards as well, which is pretty exciting.
Watch out for that bird. He's going to be going after your lure.
That means it's looking realistic.
He's all about that lure.
No doubt. He says, I want a piece of that moonwalker. So anyhow, we're pretty stoked. It's still going to be another 5-6 months before we have that first bunch of pinfish down here. Kind of welcome kickoff party, if you will, but more details to follow. We're probably going to do something pretty unique with a, what do we call it, the Founders Club?
Yeah, I'll come up with it.
Something like that. Yep. For some of you members who want to be part of the Founders Club.
Yeah, we have a lot of renovations, needed for it. It's going to be awesome.
We're going to do something pretty unique, all I will say. But no, we're stoked. Whole team is really, really stoked. Everyone likes to work in a cool place. 2, to be able to go on your lunch break and catch fish, because you better believe we are going to have that place stocked with some fish. It's on a public lake, but meaning we are going to be feeding them. So there will be, golly, this grass. There will be all kinds of fish down there. And that opens up the door for us to do stuff with, Cast for Kids, who we sponsor every year. Their events, that's where they take the disabled and, oh man, that looks so good. Disabled kids fishing, and then Fishing's Future with our old buddy Shane, where they do fish camps and always looking for locations. So we have a private boat ramp so we could host boats. And we also have a dock and a little seawall. So we can
a couple acres of property too, so plenty of parking.
cover everything.
Yeah, all this floating stuff, there's a bunch of weeds here. So we got to get a little bit past. Looks like it goes up another 50 yards. Right in the sweet spot, too. Should have brought my bullfrog. So there's a little bullfrog lure that I didn't bring this time that I like for situations like this where we're on a topwater bite situation and it's just too much weeds to do a traditional topwater. This bullfrog will ride right on top of it and just get slammed. Even though it's a freshwater lure. Snook, trout, redfish, I've even jumped tarpon on it. It's a lot of fun to use.
Stinking weeds.
This is just a line of weeds right there. Let's see if I can jump over it. Nope.
Oh, big bud's going out. I'm gonna go way up there.
I think we're almost done with the weeds. This is getting closer to the zone where, oh, sorry, I think I just crossed you.
You think you did or you did? Unbelievable. You guys are listening. Luke cast right over me, right next to me also. Double slap in the face. All right. Where are these big snook, Loogie?
They're around here somewhere.
Hopefully they're hungry for topwater. All right. And so tell everyone what you were just telling me. We met with Cash and Rods, and we've been a fan of theirs for a while.
I don't know if it's up for disclosure yet on the specific name, but we do have a really cool opportunity to work with Cash and Rods, which is a rod company made in the USA rods. They're out of North Carolina. Have some great rods, one of which I actually have with me. Their bait casting one is awesome, and we're going to actually carry that in the store here pretty soon. It's a 7-4 rod. It's the one I've been using a lot for fishing power prawns around bridges, and it's light enough to have really good feel, but it's strong enough to pull out upper slot snook and over slot snook from bridges and dock pilings.
That's for a casting rod?
Yeah, it's a casting rod. So that's the rod that kind of got me back into casting. For a long time, I kind of got away from casting setups, just doing spinning everything, and that rod has been really, really nice.
What reel are you using?
The Tatula. Tatula SV is the name of it.
Yeah.
Big waves.
I like that Daiwa Coastal, the TRS.
Yeah.
I have the Quantum as well. Smoke.
Yeah, I've got a smoke as well. I've been happy with that one.
Yeah, it's been good. I'd take the Daiwa over it.
Yeah.
Also a little bit more expensive, but
yeah, way more expensive.
By about $100. But it's smooth like butter.
All right, this should be the zone in here. If we don't get anything in the next 10 minutes, we're gonna bail. Go to spot number 2.
All it takes is one blow up. Love some topwater. All right.
Yeah, it was a totally different tide when I was here yesterday.
Is that like your excuse?
No, I'm just talking about, I don't know what's going on with the troll motor here.
Oh boy. That's a legit excuse.
There we are.
There we go.
Now it's working.
Extra thrust.
But yeah, I just kind of buzzed by here. It was a strong incoming tide when I came, and now we're at the end of the outgoing. So I'm not sure, haven't fished this area enough to know where they move around and when, but this zone right up here is where I'm assuming they're going to be holding during this time.
All right.
Oh, these weeds are killing me today.
I know. So much of weeds up there. And we got power prawn. The packaging was holding back, so we were essentially out in a couple of the power prawns, USA version. That's back in. Just give you guys some tackle updates. And got some new bundles. Everyone seems to love the bundles. We all love saving money, bundling stuff together. We have all kinds of bundles coming up here, and
But the coolest thing that's
August and
coming
September.
is the lure doctor. So we're gonna have a lure doctor, and it's gonna be an online survey that'll go through. You fill it out, talk about the types of areas you're fishing, water clarities, depths, and the species you're going after, and then the system will go through the algorithm and then recommend certain lures, right, based on what you're fishing. So that'll be pretty cool. Working on that right now.
And if you're wondering why the lure doctor, it's the same reason you go to a doctor and they don't prescribe the same thing to every single person. And yet that's what happens so often in fishing, right? And you even will see YouTube videos or questions. Hey, what rod do you recommend? Well, you can't just say a rod or a reel. You kind of need to start asking questions like a doctor would to get a diagnosis based on the problem, right? And Justin's really good at that on our team. So I'm like, hey, what's the best inshore fishing rod? Like, all right, are you using it for live bait or artificial lures? What kind of structure are you fishing? What braid are you using? What kind of lures are you using if you're using lures? Start really diving down before you can make a recommendation. The same thing you'd hope a doctor would do. You don't just go in there and say, I feel sick, and oh, here you go. He's probably gonna ask, what, you got a headache? Toothache? Toe ache? What is it? So who's the doctor? Anyone on our team? MD? I'm just gonna pretend. He's gonna put fancy little lab coats on.
That's right.
So it's gonna be good. And that way we'll be able to recommend exactly what you need based on what you're using and what you're targeting. So it will not be a one size fits all. So one person might get one recommendation, the next person gets something completely different.
Yeah, there are just mats of weeds out here, and if you go through the mat, it is game over.
You got about 10 feet there.
You got to make those first 10 twitches count.
Pray you're going to be in front of a snook's face before you catch the weeds. Deep. I'll take a tarpon too. That one tarpon blow up on Topwater not too long ago, Moonwalker, that was awesome.
Got one jump out of him before it sailed out.
I'll take it. All right, come on, baby.
Oh, got you again.
Oh, I hardly noticed. All right, Luke went over me again. Man,
Funny, mine got hit there right next to you.
I was hoping that was going to be it. Coming across a point here. Oh, baby. Hopefully it's a point with fewer weeds.
Yeah, these weeds are getting unbearable. We're not going to be here much longer.
Yeah, so what next? We just hit the beach?
Yeah, there's some little beach that's been holding some fish. We'll go try that next.
And maybe not Topwater? Or stick with Topwater?
Might work.
Yeah.
I'm going to go power prawn.
I'm going to go Slam Shady. Then once the sun comes up, of course, it's good and bad. The good part is you get to visually see everything.
We can see them, they can see us.
Mm-hmm. But there is something cool about sight casting. We're on that beach when we had our insider, remember? Wally, remember? And I was up on the tower.
Yep.
And you guys, I'm pointing out the snook, they couldn't see it, so I ended up making a cast at it with Slam Shady, and the snook actually hit it. Oh, I love that. A little bit tougher to fight from the tower sometimes, at least to land it.
All right, last cast, and if nothing here, we're going. Yeah, summertime, it's really about early morning, especially with lures. Early morning bite is the best, regardless of tide. And we're getting, every second is counting more than anything else right now. So the fact that we're just catching weeds almost every cast, like you can see, Joel, you look down here, you can see all these weeds. This is what we're dealing with. That's all scattered stuff.
Even with singling, look at this.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So this is when the bullfrog would come into play. I didn't bring it today. It hasn't been weedy like this lately. So we're gonna go ahead and bail. Not worth fighting.
Yep.
Fighting nature.
Yeah, so we'll end it there. You guys get to see what happens in real life. Started off within the first couple casts. Luke gets a nice snook, and then, you know what? Some point you have to say mercy and move on to the next one. But this is a great lesson because this question comes up all the time, and we see people who are having a tough day. And had we just kept doing this, we would have been miserable and probably pretty frustrated, right? Of just continually fishing an area that, even if the fish are here, it's just tough when you have that many weeds. So we bolt. That's what we're gonna do. Go find a place without weeds.
Let's do it.
All right. So guys, appreciate you. We'll have another live. We'll probably just go back-to-back live. Promises we don't make any cuts or edits. So we're not gonna just leave the camera running while we move. So this is the episode. One of the quickest ones ever. At least we got one snook. You guys get to see what really happens in the water and how quickly, after 15, 18 minutes, of not catching fish and not seeing any blow-ups, we're gonna move. So on to the next one. Peace.
'Cause fishing, it's in my soul, it was pain.